morning, good 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 morning. Good morning. Good morning, Grenada, Carriacou, PG, Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean and the rest of the world. How are you this beautiful, thankful Thursday morning? I trust you had a restful and peaceful and wonderful Wednesday, and you're ready to do Thursday all over again. Thank you so very much for starting your day off with us here at the GBN. Always a pleasure. Thank you for your listenership. Thank you for your viewership. Thank you for your company. Thank you for your time. Whichever platform you're using this morning, those of you on the GBN, Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11 and 20. Good morning to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9, and all the folks joining us on Party Grenada and Go To Fet Facebook pages. A pleasure to have you. To the viewers and listeners across the Caribbean, whichever part of the region you are, a spicy Grenadian 473 morning to each and every one of you. And those of you joining us internationally, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Hope you will have a good day, are having a good day, have had a good day. It is 21 and a half minutes on to 7 o'clock. It's time for this morning's word of the day. This morning's word of the day is gorgonize. Gorgonize. It's a verb which means to hypnotize or petrify. Gorgonize. It ultimately derived from the Latin word from ancient Greek, which comes from the adjective gorgas, which means dreadful, and is the original Greek name for each of the Gorgons, the triumvirate of mythic sisters with snakes for hair, and whose appearance was so frightful that anyone who looked at them directly would turn to stone. The word gorgonize entered the English language in the early part of the 12th century. Word of the day this morning, gorgonize, Gorgonize. It is a verb which means hypnotize or petrify. An example of the use of the word, now watch while I gorgonize your little girlfriend. Oh, what? Another example of the use of the word, dropping into chairs, they will sit puffing away and trying to gorgonize the president with their silent stares until their curiosity is fully satisfied. Word of the day this morning, gorgonize, Gorgonize. It's a verb which means to hypnotize or petrify or to scare you. Gorgonize, what gorgonizes me? I am gorgonized by crickets. I am petrified. I am gorgonized by needles. Gorgonized, petrified, hypnotized. Basically scaring you. That's what the word of the day is. All right, let's see what is the thought for today as we celebrate the very first thankful Thursday of the best month of the year. I told you I'll get used to it. I'll be saying it for the next, 29 days now. Let's see what the thought is for today. Be thankful for every chance you get, not because life has been easy, perfect, or exactly as you had anticipated, but because you choose to be happy and grateful for all the things you do have and all the problems you don't have. Be thankful for every chance you get, not because life has been easy, perfect, or exactly as you had anticipated, but because you choose to be happy and grateful for all the good things you do have and all the problems you don't have. Just be thankful. It's not going to be a perfect journey through this thing called life. It's not going to be exactly how you planned it. It's not going to roll out exactly how you planned it. But you need to be thankful and grateful for the things that you have and all the problems you don't have. For the past few weeks, I have been looking on at some of the events at the Paralympic Games, and it really gives you an appreciation for all the things that you have and the issues that you don't. It's a sobering exercise watching the Paralympic Games. So sometimes we give thanks for the things that we have and we forget to give thanks for the problems that we don't have. And that's a great thought this morning, that just give thanks. Give thanks for what you have and the problems that you don't, because some people have it tougher than others. Some people may not be dealing with your kind of problems, but their problems could be, okay, if not on the same length, it could be a little bit worse than yours. So the thought for today, this Thankful Thursday: be thankful for every chance you get, not because life has been easy, perfect, or exactly as you had anticipated, but because you choose to be happy and grateful for all the things you do have and all the problems you don't have. Thought of today. Just send up a quick word of thanks this morning. All right, let's see what's celebrated today, Thursday, September 2nd, 2021. Today it is, excuse me. Today it is World Coconut Day. World Coconut Day. That's what we're celebrating on September 2nd. One of nature's most versatile products, the coconut plant can be used for food and drink, cosmetic preparations, and decorating. Some coconut proponents even claim that the fruit's oil can reverse dental decay if you swish it around in your mouth for 20 minutes a day. Most of us aren't comfortable with a mouthful of oil, no matter whence that oil comes or what it's purported to do. But we can still get caught up in the coconut craze. Whether you're stuck on a deserted island or comfortable in your own home, there are a few things you can do to recognize World Coconut Day. Find one and celebrate this tropical wonder fruit. World Coconut Day, some good old beastly cold coconut water, coconut jelly, a little coconut husk and sugar. Ooh, a lot of things you could do with a nice little coconut. One of the first things that come to mind is what? That's right, oil down. It's World Coconut Day. However you choose to celebrate this wonder fruit, feel free to do so. Whether it's coconut water from your own backyard or you purchase it from the vendors, you could eat a little coconut and sugar in moderation. Coconut jelly, whatever you want. Coconut tart. Set up yourself right. Turn over. What else you can have? Your real things to made with the coconut. If you want to cook an oil and call Blossom and tell Blossom pick up an oil, that's fine too. That's fine too. It's World Coconut Day. Celebrate however you want to and just celebrate the wonder fruit of coconut. That's what today is, World Coconut Day. I tell only everything has a day. All right, 1 minute to share some information. Right. Yesterday I saw a notice from the Grenada Hotel and Tourism Association calling for volunteers as Grenada's evolving COVID-19 situation continues. As the situation continues, just yesterday we announced an additional 125 positive cases. You heard me right. And an additional death. According to the COVID-19 dashboard, the GHTA is calling on volunteers who can help with the vaccination drive. They are looking for people who can help with the vaccination registration and data entry, not administering the vaccine, but just taking the information and helping as best you can. The Ministry of Health has signaled their intention to set up mobile vaccination drives across the island in different parts of the island, so you will also be helping out there as they spread the vaccination efforts island-wide. So the GHTA looking for volunteers who can help with registration and data entry on the vaccination drive. You can contact them at the email info@ghta.org, or you can always call the I was going to tell you call GTA. No, I don't have a number for GHTA, but you can send them an email info @ghta.org if you would like to volunteer as part of the vaccination drive island-wide. All right, now let's get ready for the morning edition of news. For those of you on radio and those of you on our listening visual platforms, we bring you highlights of last evening's newscast. This is Good Morning Grenada. Stick and stay. We'll be right back.
It's safer on the inside. It's safer. More comfortable on the inside. I can't dispute anything what you say, but have him on the only cause and the text every day, but
Economic Stimulus Program 2.0 is up and running. The $36 million EC program, funded by the Caribbean Development Bank and the Government of Grenada, was launched virtually on Wednesday. Rena Perry-Thomas reports.
The Government of Grenada, with the help of key stakeholders, will again stretch forth a helping hand to those who are critically affected by COVID-19. Financial support will be given through the rollout of the stimulus program to the vulnerable population through the SEED program under the Ministry of Social Development. Persons working in various informal sectors that are seriously impacted by the virus will receive income support to cushion their burdens, along with payrolls and grant support to the businesses. Minister for Finance and Deputy Prime Minister Gregory Bowen outlined other aspects of the program in his remarks.
Typical beneficiaries will include cultural artists, cruise ship workers, taxi drivers, water taxi operators, tourist vendors, tour guides, roving street vendors, school vendors, small shop operators, small caterers, cleaners, domestic workers, garment workers, agro-processors, operators of entertainment centers, small promoters, bus operators, caregivers, farm workers, hairdressers, barbers, beauty therapists, cosmetologists, fish vendors, and others.
COVID-19 has removed the unemployment rate in Grenada from 15% to over 28.4% in the short space of 14 months, with over 4,000 jobs lost. Bowen says the program aims to mitigate the sociological and economic impact of the coronavirus in Grenada.
This package will help protect the most vulnerable, promote job creation, and help micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. This is critical in helping to boost economic recovery and preventing further economic scarring and social dislocation.
Grenada's first stimulus package was launched in late April 2020 and assisted over 7,000 Grenadians who were affected by COVID-19. For GBN News, I am Rena Perry-Thomas reporting.
As the number of infections rises, more businesses and organizations are being affected. The National Insurance Scheme is now among establishments which is seeking to navigate this dilemma. GBN's Chrislina John has been listening to the concerns of some of its employees, and she sought answers from Director Dorset Cromwell. Let's see what she found out.
GBN has been reliably informed that an employee at the National Insurance Scheme, the NIS, tested positive for COVID-19 and has been told to self-isolate. Workers there are fearful that their lives are being put at risk. According to a reliable source, employees from the plagued department were asked to isolate, however, are still intermingling within the same lunch area with other employees. Director of the NIS, Dorset Cromwell, was contacted.
Yes, so we do have a case, as you have inquired, right? So the person, I think, reported to us that they may have been exposed, right? And once they advised us that they may have been exposed, we asked them to isolate, leave the office and isolate. And additionally, persons who may have been in contact with her during the course of that particular morning, we've also asked them to isolate.
Cromwell spoke on other internal measures taken by the insurance scheme to protecting themselves and their customers.
And of course, they will have to be tested before they return to work, right? Internally in the office, we have been very good with the physical distancing, right? Because we have adjusted, our workstations are pretty well separated, so that is good. In the lunchroom, for instance, we have separated all the tables, and there is only one chair to a table, and persons have been, wearing their masks and using the hand sanitizers and so forth. And we have someone in the office who is sanitizing the different workstations as customers come into the office and leave the office.
The source told GBN they believe the entire organization should be closed for a while to ensure everyone's safety. However, Cromwell says the one positive case, in his view, does not necessitate a complete closure of the organization.
As I said, based on the protocols that we have in the office, we don't think that will be necessary, but we would monitor the situation because, of course, first and foremost is people's safety. The safety of the staff, the safety of the customers, but we don't think that is necessary, right?
Okay.
And we will try to, make sure that persons are tested to ensure that they are negative. But we don't think it is necessary for a shutdown of the office at this point in time.
The employee, Cromwell says, must first have a negative PCR test before returning to the workplace. The latest active COVID positive count has reached over 300, and speculations are rife that Grenada is heading for a complete shutdown. Christina John, GBN News.
Within a 2-week window, Grenada has moved from 3 active COVID-19 cases to more than 300. Senior Medical Officer Dr. Mayana Charles anticipates that this number will continue to grow in the days ahead as the Health Ministry clears the backlog of tests. Health officials are conducting about 1,000 tests per day, including both PCR and rapid tests, in an effort to identify and diagnose local cases.
In Grenada, we are at a situation now where we have a significant number of active cases, right? And this number continues to rise, right? So we have cast the net wide and far, right? We have been conducting mass testing in communities, but soon, very soon, we will reach a point where contact tracing is not helpful. Because if you think about it, everybody may be considered as a contact of a positive case. I'm sure right now in Grenada, everybody probably knows someone who has been exposed to COVID-19 or who has been confirmed to have COVID-19.
As the ministry attempts to get the current outbreak under control, Dr. Charles believes with the way things are going, contact tracing may not be helpful as community spread increases.
To increase today. In fact, we expect that number to probably double within the next 2 to 4 days. All right?
How many tests do we have pending?
So currently, we have cleared the backlog that we had, so that the testing is pretty much up to date. All right, the testing of persons are up to date. Right, and we are also conducting a large number of rapid antigen tests. So we're using 2 testing methods. Right, we have 2 tests where we can detect cases. We have the rapid antigen test, where persons get their results within 15 minutes, right? And that test basically detects proteins produced by the SARS-CoV-2. That is the virus that causes.
The Public Workers Union is strongly advocating and encouraging its members, and by extension the general public, to follow the COVID-19 protocols of frequent sanitization, wearing masks, and social distancing. This is a direct response to drastic increases in the number of COVID-19 cases in Grenada and cases reported within the public service. The union also proposed some solutions to government. Gerard Joseph has the latest developments.
A flexi-work module is the solution being put forward to government as a means to curb the spread of COVID-19. This comes after numerous reports by members to the PWU that they have been asked by their superiors to return to work despite being asked to self-isolate. PW President Brian Grimes cited the overarching importance of balancing life versus livelihoods as he addressed the issue on Wednesday.
Work can go on, but a life is irreplaceable. That is the point I'm making. A life is irreplaceable. So we must concentrate on the health of our workers because this virus is deadly. So those supervisors or employers who are practicing this immoral act, we are asking you to cease and desist from doing so.
Grimes highlighted poor working conditions as another major factor affecting public officers, despite their adherence to the protocols. The question of the flexi work module, designed in March last year by the Department of Public Administration, was thus rekindled.
What is flexi work? Basically, that speaks to flexible time. Right? We're talking about remote work, working at home with your computer and so forth. A shift system, rostering, where workers would not be asked to all be in the same place at the same time. And also, as was employed in the beginning of this pandemic, in the early stages in 2020, that essential services alone would be asked to come out.
The PW president noted that this module must be strongly considered in light of the daily rise in cases and blatant lack of information sharing, which has given rise to fear among workers. GBN sought a response from government, which maintains the guidance issued by the Ministry of Health. According to government, a team of senior managers met today to discuss recommendations for adjusting public service operations amidst the surge. These recommendations have been sent to policymakers for consideration and decision-making. In the interim, there is existing guidance that managers can implement as the need arises. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
The reopening of schools will happen virtually next Monday. The Ministry of Education has adopted a wait-and-see situation with the hope that students could be back in the classroom physically by mid-September. However, that is dependent on whether the country gets a grip on the present escalating cases of COVID-19. The situation is not unique to Grenada, but is a problem that is plaguing education systems worldwide. The subject was one of the common themes which surfaced on GBN's Beyond the Headlines program. In Grenada, the economic and social fallout of COVID-19 has been significant. You hear it from 13-year-old student Tyler Smith.
When you had COVID, we used to have to stay home and do Zoom classes. Sometimes we used to miss it a lot. But we used to have to go to school.
Would you miss some of the classes on the Zoom platform?
Yes.
Why?
Because the Wi-Fi used to give a lot of trouble.
But it's not just the limited Wi-Fi access that educators must now contend with. Rising cases in Grenada resulted in a pause on the planned reopening of schools, but Beyond the Headlines panelist Julie Lutz says it's no different in North Carolina.
Several of the schools that have already started in the area that were planning to not have any remote learning have, within the first 2 weeks, had to go to remote learning because of the increase in COVID cases and quarantine. So it's been kind of a mess for parents, students, administrators, teachers, everybody.
Rachel Fisher lives in Florida, and she too has witnessed the upending of the education system caused by COVID-19.
We started school, so school has started here, and immediately had, hundreds to thousands of cases of COVID within the first week of school in the bigger school districts here in Florida, like Palm Beach County and where I live. And they are having to go to more remote learning. They're having to go to mask mandate.
The Grenada Union of Teachers is against vaccine mandates, and it's not unique to the local fraternity. Beyond the Headlines guest, Mrs. Judy Marshall, who is a Grenadian by birth, says teachers in New York are also into the throes of this thorny subject.
We're waiting on tomorrow's meeting with the president of the United Federation of Teachers, Mr. Michael Mulgrove, to see what the union is going to have to say about that, or do teachers have to quit their jobs if they don't want to be vaccinated. And I think a lot of the resistance comes from people not being, not feeling comfortable being told what to do. I think the resistance is mostly stemming from that resentment that somebody is telling a grown person what to do with their own body.
The common theme running through Mondays Beyond the Headlines was, we may live thousands of miles away, but we all have common problems. The managing director of the Grenada Broadcasting Network, Mrs. Odette Campbell, has been elected to serve on an international industry agency. We get details from our associate Garfield Bufford.
Mrs. Odette Campbell is a long-term media manager and has worked closely with the PMA for many years to uphold public media values worldwide. Her role as managing director builds on over 30 years' experience in journalism and media production. Previous roles include news director of GBN and communications specialist at Grenada's National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA. Mrs. Campbell's appointment to the board of directors of the Public Media Alliance comes at a critical time on the global media landscape. She believes the PMA's role is crucial in helping with that dynamic evolutionary process.
Well, the rise of social media seemed to pose a threat to what we knew as a legitimate and respected source of news and information that went through the requisite filters, the checks and the balances that are needed. However, we have lived to see that the skeptics have been made to think twice. COVID-19 especially, and the way it has panned out has proven that media professionals are needed to cut through the noise and present the facts. Agencies like Public Media Alliance, they do play an invaluable role in ensuring that we as broadcasters and other arms of the media live up to the high standards that are expected of us, and I look forward to representing Grenada and the Caribbean on this esteemed body of media practitioners from around the world.
As a seasoned media trainer, Mrs. Campbell also serves in an advisory capacity to various agencies and as an adjunct lecturer in journalism and communications studies at the T.A. Murray Show Community College. She thinks that the recent changes in the approach to education present a great opportunity for younger media practitioners to improve on their craft.
We hear a lot about media workers not being provided with adequate training. However, I beg to differ. The digital landscape has exploded overnight. COVID-19, for instance, has seen education being shifted from physical spaces in our classrooms to the virtual sphere. So now more than ever, our media practitioners have access to an abundance of online courses and full-fledged degrees at some of the world's most prestigious institutions. The Public Media Alliance, the Caribbean Broadcasting Union, and other agencies collaborate to host short-term courses. They host several developmental programs, and our commitment is to ensure that as many media practitioners as possible from Grenada do get an opportunity to participate.
The GBN MD hosts the weekly current affairs program Beyond the Headlines, which has featured discussions on a myriad of global issues, including gender and politics, the Venezuelan migrant crisis, and COVID-19, assessing the global repercussions. Mrs. Campbell has a master's degree in international journalism from Sussex University, a diploma in marketing from St. George's University, and a certificates in business law, labor law, and supervisory management from the University of the West Indies.
Indiscriminate disposal of raw sewage by cruisers has been a bane to Seamoss farmers and residents of Woburn and other areas for years. An innovative entrepreneur has come up with a solution. We hear the details in this Chrislina John report.
Bernard Williams, a businessman accompanied by his teammate Jeremy Telesford, took it upon themselves to ease the pollution of the environment and alleviate some of the discomfort experienced by providing a marine sewage pump-out service.
I saw on the news sometime last year there were concerns, especially in the Woburn area, of the yachties disposing their waste into the water. Now, I had bought this boat prior to COVID to do marine charters, to take people out snorkeling, diving. I'm one that love the sea as well. Yeah. So come COVID, that business has dropped significantly. So I sat and I thought about doing that sewage pump out service. Yeah. So I contacted my friend in the US, same friend, yeah, and he looked into the pump and the hardware, and I made the investment.
International maritime law is what he says they use to guide their process of waste disposal, and they are well equipped with safety gears which prevent direct contact with the waste.
The equipment that we have on board, all right, so as I said, most yachts, the holding tanks are in the range of 7 to about 30 gallons average, and so we've installed a 200-gallon tank on our boat. and we have a vacuum pump up front. So it sucks the waste from the yacht.
Some of the yachts do not have holding tanks, and so more than 90% of the cruisers embraced the service.
It's impossible to find a pump out in the Caribbean, so it's great. It's great to have the opportunity to do the right thing and keep it out of the water, protect the water. So we really appreciate it. It'd be great. I mean, just to be able to swim in the water without all the who knows what in the water with us would be awesome. I mean, we would all appreciate that, I think, if everybody, made an effort to pump out properly.
It's a really good idea. It's good for the environment. It's good for us cruisers to know we aren't, polluting our oceans. So it's really cool that you guys have this service now.
Jeremy Telesford is an environmental warden and a businessman. He says they are trying to bridge the gap between protecting the mangroves and the well-being of the neighborhoods.
We have problems before in the past that feces and our sewage come aboard from, most of it is from the cruisers, since they have no regulations in place to dump in waste. So they just pump it overboard, and as a villager we get issues of sewage coming through. You can bathe, we have nice clear water, but it's toxic. So with this initiative here, along with Bernie, we see the opportunity to protect our shoreline, protect our water and our environment at the same time.
The vessel is equipped with a 200-gallon tank with vacuum pump and operates out of Secret Harbor Marina. Woburn, Claxcoat Bay, and Prickly Bay Marina, among other areas, are also serviced. Christelina John, GBN News.
And now for tonight's GBN ISA.
Our ISA reporter tonight calls their submission a major problem waiting to happen. Our citizen journalist says he's been noticing the fallen wall in the Grandans area at the back of the Spiceland Mall for quite some time. Adding that it has gotten worse over time, he is hoping to see the situation addressed soon. Send us your photo and video submission via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Because your vehicle is a necessity, being roadworthy is critical. Hubbard's Motor Department introduces its new tire and battery sales and service outlet located at Building Supplies Compound in Grandans, close to the Sugar Mill Roundabout. Available are a wide range of competitively priced tires, maintenance-free batteries, oils and lubricants. Keeping in mind your busy schedule, this outlet is equipped to provide you with fast and reliable service. Simply drive in and you'll be delighted with your service experience. For more information, contact 440-2087. Hubbard's, quality service, affordable prices.
How did you get your electricity bill to be so low? For one, we size our transformers just for what we need, and we unplug transformers, chargers, and other devices when they're not in use. We also replaced our light bulbs with LED. I even replaced the seal on my refrigerator door to keep the cold air in. How do you know if it is working? We pay attention to the usage history table. Over time, our average usage has decreased.
Energizing our Grenada.
My Digicel presents Hit by a How To. Here is
Here's how you can purchase a plan in the My Digicel app and get instant access to all of our apps. It's simple. Let me show you how. From your home screen, find the plans and bundles icon in the lower left corner of your screen. Tap it to see your available plans and bundles. You can choose between a Prime bundle with data and talk or pick a plan from the Available Plans tab. Find the plan that's best for you, then hit confirm and you're ready to go. With your new plan, you may have access to more of our apps. Find them in the More from Digicel section and hit download for each of our new apps. You can also upgrade your current plan or bundle under the Active Plans section of your homepage. Excited to try it out? Download the My Digicel app today. My Digicel, better together.
Once upon a time, we shopped at Wonderland, then Neverland. But we're all grown up now and no longer believe in fairy tales. So now we just shop at Shoes R Us. At Shoes R Us, we stock the latest in shoes, tops, and jeans for the fashion-conscious lady. We also carry colognes and much, much more. And for the modern trendy male, we have the latest brand-name shoes and sneakers, Converse, Reebok, Nike, K-Swiss, Puma, and much more. So check us out at our two convenient locations, Melville Street in St. George and Ben Jones Street in Granville. At Shoes R Us, we say, come shop with us.
Ultratech gasoline and diesel, available only at Rubis stations.
Imagine having the home of your dreams. Imagine investing in that piece of property you can call your own. Imagine finally doing that home improvement project you've always been thinking about. It's time to stop imagining and start doing. Let the GUT Credit Union help you take the first step with fantastic rates, affordable repayments, and reduced legal fees. Make the move. Get better terms on your mortgage. Use your home equity to make those dreams a reality. Act now. There's really no place like home. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Get Rubigas. Get cooking. Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Get Rubis, get going. Let's get tough on breed larceny. It will destroy our economy. Larceny threatens our food security. Can hurt us locally, hurt us globally. To all the buyers, ask for license from all produce sellers. To all people, 400 for police for them thieving fellas. To all farmers, please don't steal produce from your brother. Then you sell it to traffickers, hotels, and street vendors. Nah, man. Let's do all we can to stop breed larceny. New vigilance, new laws, and a tough judiciary. Stop Grenada's organized business crime. It's time.
To report breed larceny, call 300. Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements? Or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, reviews, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Hassle-free loans for your every need. Courts have you covered, best believe. Courts Ready Cash is for everyone. Not to worry, fast approval. Hurry up and come. We got it all. We on the go. Courts Ready Cash, you already know. We got it all. We on the go. Courts Ready Cash, always ready when you're ready. Let's go.
Courts Ready Cash, ready when you are.
A whole new level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
There's no better way to start your day than with me on Good Morning Grenada. Covering everything you need to start your mornings off right. 6:35 a.m. on weekdays on all GBN platforms. Good Morning Grenada, adding a little blossom to your mornings.
We represent 4/7 trade.
Welcome back to Good Morning Grenada. It is 19 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock. Those of you just joining us, happy to have you. Those of you who stuck with us, thank you for your patience. Let's get into this morning's discussion. No sticking up. You know what? Before I do that, I just want to big up all our viewers on the YouTube channel. I know we've been missing in action on this page for the past, 2 days. We were streaming on the other YouTube channel, GBN Production. So anytime you don't see us on Grenada Broadcasting Network, check GBN Production just in case. So welcome back, YouTubers. Happy to have you. All right, now let's get into the discussion. Joining me virtually this morning is President of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Jude Bartholomew, and he's here to give us some update and share some concerns that teachers have as Grenada's current COVID-19 situation unfolds, and the start of the new school year is scheduled for Monday, God willing, albeit under some adjustments, but nevertheless there are some concerns from some of our teachers. So let's first say good morning to Mr. Bartholomew, and thank you, sir, for joining us. How are you?
Yes, good morning, Blossom. It's nice to be on your program all the time. Wonderful program, and good morning to all our listeners on the various mediums. We are happy to be here, and we're going to have a conversation this morning. Thank you so very much.
Yes, we are. So, Mr. Bartholomew, just last Friday, Minister of Health Nicholas Steele advised that the 2021-2022 school year, which was scheduled to start on Monday, there'll be some adjustments to be made to the start of the school year considering the COVID-19 situation. We will start virtually, but I've seen some teachers as well as family members posting on social media that some of our teachers are required to physically come into the school compounds on Monday, God willing, and that, I understand, has garnered some concerns from our teachers. Have they shared that with you, with members of the executive of the GUT?
Yes, and I would like to say good morning to our teachers and the national executive. Yes, the concerns have been shared, and every day you get calls. Persons are concerned, and I would just like to go back and to start by saying our teachers are the most hardworking, dedicated, committed teachers in throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. With educating the nation's children, and that commitment is to the parents. And so what we are experiencing, it is not an easy one. Persons are concerned with the spread of COVID-19. Now let's go back since 2020, March of 2020, when you had the COVID situation coming in. We didn't really have that active case of COVID in Grenada. But what happened, the government of Grenada, the Ministry of Education, they would have closed down school. And from the historical evidence is there. They didn't have anything in place. They didn't have the platforms. They didn't have the laptops, the phones, and the different things. The teachers took the thing by hand, teachers and principals. Take the thing by the bull and such and really assist the children from home. Online learning, everybody got it. It was the teachers and the school that made it work. There was no problem there. The ministry didn't have anything in place, and it was successful. In 2020, that was the best results ever, one may say, in exams. Whether CSEC exams or whatever other exams, it was the most successful, which means that the schools, the teachers, everybody came together and did a wonderful job. And where did they do it? They did it at home. Here you have a situation now where this COVID virus is on the rise. And one would be concerned. It is said that the Delta virus is the most dangerous. And every day the evidence is there that you're seeing more and more cases. And it is rising fast and quickly. So if you have school, you have it online for the children, you see, on the 20th. We had a meeting with the Ministry of Education, and we were imploring them and begging them and telling them, why is it that the teachers have to go to school at such a time when the children would be at home? Even throughout this week, the teachers are going to school. Now let's look at the community spread. The government, the Ministry of Health, nobody has any control. They can't tell you exactly where this thing is. It's all over Grenada, throughout the state. And so why would you want to put not only your teachers, but your public workers and everybody in danger? Now this thing is spreading widely. So you said, the Ministry of Education would have said that they want school to reopen on the 20th. Probably the children coming face to face. Before that, it would be online. But you're exposing your teachers now to the virus. So when teachers are going to school, you don't know who is who. You don't know the possibility exists that there are teachers who may have been exposed to the virus and contracted the virus. There have been other persons like the e-money and such which comes in who probably would have been exposed to the virus, and everybody. So coming in and going in the schools, you're contaminating the whole school environment. And that's what it happened. So one asks the question, does the Ministry of Education want all these teachers to be exposed to the virus and such and get sick? So that when now school is ready to open, should it be open on the 28th of September, nobody could really come there? And would you bring in the children now? Basically, would you bring in the children in such an environment? If all the teachers are sick, would they be able to teach the children whether online or direct face-to-face? And these are the questions that one would want to ask. And one would want to think that if the Ministry of Education, they have the goals and the objectives which the teachers will implement. And there is no evidence. Let us make it straight and get it clear here. The teachers and principals are ready and willing to work. It's not that they don't want to work. And the teachers are always dedicated and hardworking. Always make the invaluable sacrifice to assist their children, even during the holidays and such. So that is not the thing. There is nothing here that says that teachers don't want to work. The problem that we are facing is that fear. Persons are afraid. And if you are afraid and frightened, you would not put out your best. And what the teachers are saying, you have the devices now. The Ministry of Education would have given teachers the devices. They would have given the children the devices, basically. So you don't have to go in the school. You don't have to go in that physical environment in the school, because there isn't anything that says the laptop and the internet and such works in the school only. You can work at your home too and achieve the same or probably even more. And that's what happened before. So because of safety and health concern for everybody, what the Grenada Union of Teachers is saying and what the teachers are saying, let us work from home. And at the same time, when you do that, you have measures there. It's a sort of quarantine in itself. Because riding on the bus, going here and there, the virus will spread. So this working at home now, let's say for this week, teachers can plan at home. The principal in school, you can have your development sessions and everything on Zoom, online. You get to work together and everything, you're fully organized. And then All right, you're ready to go for the children next Monday online. And then you assess the situation. So you do this thing in phases. That's what we're saying. You do it in phases. You control force, control mechanism, so that you control the virus, you control the community spread because you don't know where it is. That will give a chance for more persons. You can imagine 1,800 teachers and e-money workers and all those involved in education moving around the country, here, there, and everywhere. Now you're spreading the virus. But if you control it and such, and then you have the children home, because you can't bring children in that environment. Now you're looking at the whole nation with children, representing each and every family. When children come to school in that sort of situation, that virus going back home. And that's when you're looking for trouble. So all the teachers are asking for, they are willing and ready to work. But at this time, based on the COVID situation and the danger involved in this Delta virus, they are asking that we should work at home. Work at home until this situation is under control. Then you take it gradually online, and then you can go face-to-face where you have both approach, online and then face-to-face, until gradually you're able to come back to face-to-face with everybody. So that's basically the opening stance here. That's the situation.
Has any rationale been given by the Ministry of Education about why teachers need to physically go to school to conduct online classes?
Well, I don't know. More than one could say, we don't know what to say. Probably they think, well, you have internet services in the school. Probably the Ministry of Education would have provided internet service in the school, and they would want persons. I think the Ministry of Education, when we had the meeting, they did say that the rest of the public servants are at work and such. And so everybody, yes, we know that Grenada is not officially on lockdown, but you cannot compare the entire public servants. Now, COVID is posed a danger for everybody, so let's get that clear. Everybody, the whole of the public service, the private sector, public sector, and everybody. But teaching and the education system with schools is a little bit different from the rest of the public sector, and everybody knows that. Here you have the correlation and you have the dealing with children and teachers. So what you're seeing there can be no school without the teachers and no school without the children. That's what you see. Without children, you wouldn't have school. Without teachers, you would not have school. So it doesn't make sense that the children at home, one can see, and then the teachers have to go in school to do the same online work with the children. That is what is going on here. You're doing the online work, you have the devices, you have everything, but you're going in the school. We see it as teachers see it as a form of punishment. And that's what teachers are asking. What have they done wrong to the Ministry of Education? What have they done wrong? More than probably the little match and everything like that, so for the 4% increase and all those things. What have they done wrong that everything? So you see it coming from the chief education officer, it coming from other DOs, some of them, it coming from other higher authority, from the minister and everybody. But sometimes you have to let good sense prevail and use the best judgment. And so the internet service in the school, but sometimes it is unreliable. One can realize that. I think there are sometimes, I think it was in 2020 around May or June, when the ministry did instruct that teachers should go back to school and the children were at home. And what would have happened? Persons who are using the internet services at home, you have it reliable, it is there. When you go in some of the school, there is no internet services. There is no internet sometimes. So what some of the teachers will just have to do, you can't teach the children online. You have to sit down there sometimes and you might say probably just wasting time. And the ministry have been repairing schools, doing a lot of things during the holidays and such. Have they assessed the situation to say that all schools have access to internet or internet services? And sometimes you don't have the speed, you don't have everything. So do you want teachers to just go there and sit down and waste time, where the teachers can be more comfortable, especially relaxed during the COVID period and such, and really and truly do what they have to do? All the Ministry of Education has to do is to ensure that those things that the school has to get done and such, that they have a plan, they assess the plan and they know how to assess the plan, whether it's at home or whether it's in school, and to get the job done. The important thing is getting the job done. And we can guarantee you, the Grenada Union of Teachers, the school, the teachers, they are ready to work and they will get the work done. They will always, the children is at the heart of the core and everything. And we want the parents to understand that situation here, that there is a good relationship between parents and the teachers. Teachers are committed to the children's learning. Teachers are the most caring. And so parents, you need not be afraid, because in 2020, when everybody were concerned about the exams and different things like that, who really put it together and make the thing work? It was the teachers and the school, the principals, and the evidences are there. So it doesn't matter what the situation. If the teachers realize, well, something is short here, they will take night and make day to make sure that the children are ready for exams. What we want now is safety for our teachers and safety for our children, safety for the parents, because any mishap here with this COVID thing, the children bring it back home and it's trouble. Any mishap, again, the teachers, but so we go in vice versa. And that's what we want. A harmonious relationship. The teachers are ready to do what they want, but we're saying for now, let us do it at home until everything settles.
When you talk COVID these days, you always have to bring up the issue of vaccination. And I know just earlier this week, the Union of Teachers sent out a news release stating its stance on the vaccination. So just briefly sum it up for us. And how can the GUT, or what role will the GUT play in encouraging teachers to get vaccinated as we prepare to start the new school year on Monday, God willing?
Well, GUT did issue a statement on vaccination, and we started by acknowledging that this disease, or this virus, COVID-19 virus, is a very dangerous one, deadly and dangerous. And what we did say is that we want our teachers, we want the nation, we want all workers to be careful, but we want our teachers to be careful. We want our teachers to educate themselves, and we need to educate ourselves about the COVID-19 virus, and we need to also educate ourselves about the different vaccines and such that are available. So we know in Grenada we have the AstraZeneca and you have the Pfizer vaccine and such. So it's a matter of choice now. We know that there is some fear out there, from everybody, from a lot of persons, the nation, people, so what needs to happen is that we need to educate ourselves. We need to read, we need to be educated about the vaccine and its purpose and all those things, and probably listen to facts. And based on what you're hearing, more and more persons are sort of making up their mind in terms of being positive towards the vaccine. But what we're saying from the Grenada Union of Teachers, we're not going to force persons. You're free. Teachers must be free, a matter of choice, whether or not they want to take the vaccine. So educate yourselves. We encourage them, and we encourage the whole nation. The matter is up to you, your choice. But hopefully, when you make your choice, that decision, you will come up with your decision. We know the situation now with the COVID-19 is a little bit deadly and such. So one person has to be careful and to make the right decision. But what we're saying clearly is that the Grenada Union of Teachers, we are against mandatory vaccination. So we don't believe that persons should be forced to be vaccinated. All right? Educate yourself. You let wisdom prevail with all of us, and make up your mind and do what is best to you for the education system, for everybody. Do the right thing. All right? Do the right thing, but it should up to you. And then as the statement follows, we did say also that we know that the employer has to protect the teachers, have to protect the children, have to protect his workers. And when we say employer here, we're not only talking about in the public sector, we're talking about in the private sector also. Their responsibility, yes, is to protect the workplace and to have a safe environment for workers. But at the same time, we don't want the employer, whether government or private, to victimize workers, whether it be teachers or wherever. All right, we don't want them to be victimizing the public officer, victimizing the teachers, victimizing the worker, wherever they are, in the name of COVID-19. We don't want them. Forcing them and such. You hear in situations, as we did say before, where some persons complain, even from the private sector, that they're sending them home, suspending them without pay for 3 months and all those things like that. This is humane in those times. So what we're saying, and we're going back and we're making it very clear that we face a situation in Grenada here where COVID-19 is a threat to our economy, is a threat to our education system, is a threat to everybody, and we can see it. But we're saying educate yourself and such, and protect yourself, protect your family, protect the workplace, protect everybody. Do it smartly, do it wisely, make the right decision. But the choice is yours. No mandatory vaccination. GUT will not stand for it.
There's a comment on Facebook. Somebody says it's not punishment for the teachers to report to the classroom. It's a professional requirement. Folks are more focused, thus more effective at work. Too much at home to distract them from the work. How can we help this situation with the distractions that may be at home with the teachers working from home?
Well,
or should I say, is it a concern of the GUT?
I mean, we smile and I smile and I respect what persons say, their opinion, everything like that. So one can see that you can be distracted wherever you are. I can be distracted talking to you right now. I can be distracted in the workplace, wherever. That distraction comes from you. But what we're saying is that it doesn't matter here. That's not the important thing or the overbearing factor. Teachers would work wherever they are. Now, if it were in a normal situation and teachers would tell you that they want to work at home, the Grenada Union of Teachers would not have stand for that. Would not have stand for that because everybody and every teacher likes it best when they go back in the workplace, right in the school environment. And the children are happy and learn probably even better when they are in face-to-face in the school environment. So that is not the issue. The teachers want to go back to work. When school open, teachers are looking forward to go buy everything. Don't watch the teachers. So teachers would have, in spite of the economic situation, teachers would have bought everything that they can to prepare their class and all those things to welcome children and do everything, and they have everything in place. So what would have happened here is not the teachers just coming and forward and tell you they want to stay at home and they don't want to work in. It's the virus and the situation with this deadly virus. And before this deadly virus, persons were going to school. But what is happening here now, it seems or it appears that the virus is a little under control. No control here. And we say not the teachers that spread it, not the public officers such that bring it here. This Delta virus and such came from. So one would want to say and urge the government also and the Ministry of Health to the control measures. When you quarantine, people that are coming in, make sure that they are properly quarantined and everything. Make sure that you have things locked down. And it seems as I said before, the government put it on record that they were doing a wonderful job and they're still trying. But at the same time, one can see that there are some loose ends here and there. And probably we're getting too comfortable, probably in our society, and probably the Ministry of Health and even government, where persons are slipping through the cracks and such. And so you have to control your airports and your seaports and all the different things like that. So to make sure that when persons are coming in, that they do the right thing and they are safe to protect the Grenadian populace. And that's what we're seeing. Because the Delta variant and everything is not originally from Grenada. Somebody would have to bring it in here. And so that is the essence of the situation. Teachers want to work. They love it face-to-face. The children love it face-to-face. But in that situation here, we have a threat. It's a deadly virus and a community spread. No one knows where this virus is. In other words, now you have to treat everybody like your enemy. Like your enemy before anybody cough, anybody sneeze, everybody watching around. And that's the same thing. If you just go in the school and you say, go to work and go face-to-face and you have to be there, and such, then you're looking for trouble. Because it means that once this thing contaminates your school and your teachers, the students are there, then more problem for the nation, more problem for the community. And if it were in a situation where we did not have the laptops and such, the ministry can boast and they can say, and we give them credit for that yes, during 2020, they didn't have things in place. They have the MSTA platform, you have all the various platforms, you have the laptops, you have mostly all the classes and such, probably few classes now with new children coming to school that have to get their devices. But you have the things in place. So if you have the things in place and education can take place anywhere now, you don't have to be in a physical building or wherever. It doesn't matter. And to say what you're saying, to confirm, I listened on Monday night to the GBN Beyond the Headline program where Odette was interviewing somebody from the States, or a few persons from the States. There was a lady there that said she wasn't in physical classroom for 18 months. So I want to know if I'm correct on that. 18 months, she did not say that she did not teach. They were online. So even in the United States, the great United States, a lot of the classes and such were done online, and there is no evidence that it wasn't successful. One might say that probably face-to-face is the best. Is the best. And there is no better smile and everything like that, so and such interaction with your children and teachers than face-to-face. But based on the circumstances and the situation that manifests itself now, face-to-face is not the most ideal thing. So you work with what you have and such. You go online, you protect your children, you protect your teachers because your children in the nation are the most vulnerable and such. And that's what happens. And when the time is right, then you go back face-to-face in a phased approach.
Right now, the number of COVID-19 cases we've recorded since March 2020, 664. And while the names of those that have been confirmed positive are kept confidential, have you received any reports of a teacher or teachers being affected by COVID-19?
We have not received any official reports, so I can't say that, but hearsay here in Turkey, there and everywhere, that the possibility exists that there are teachers who are exposed to the virus. And you're hearing also that there probably could be students that are exposed to the virus. So that's what we're saying. We did not to show who they are and where they are. And the possibility exists that you're saying you go into school and you're sending now at this time. And I would want to think that probably, and a lot of persons are of that opinion, now the best time to probably control this thing. Probably right about now is even too late to control this thing. I mean, we could try now. But since you're hearing about this COVID-19 and community spread with the Delta virus and such, one would have wanted to think that wherever persons are, they should remain in that particular place so that you kind of have a control of this thing. So when persons are going around and such, the more persons go around, is the more that the virus will spread. So one would want to say and treat it likely, even if the possibility exists that there probably no teacher who would have contracted the virus. You have to treat it as if when you have a staff meeting and you have whatever you're going to school, that everybody, or there might be one person with the virus there. And once you're in an enclosed area and such, the possibility exists that the virus will spread. Now, not all teachers that have transportation, some teachers have to ride on the bus. And we know the situation with the buses, and public officers have to ride on the bus. Even private workers have to ride on the bus. Not everybody have their transport. And with the situation, with the cost of gas and fuel now, a lot of persons live in their vehicle wherever they are, and they prefer probably to ride on the buses. And these smart buses that we have, people are jammed up and such. Not everybody probably wearing a mask and different things. You are exposed, and that is the fear. Principals also are exposed, and principals too, they have their family and such, and if they're exposed, they might be bringing back the same COVID virus thing to their family. And that's how we have to use our initiative in terms of both parents, the union, GUT, the school environment, principals, and everybody working together to see how we can control this thing and get the education system running again. So that is the fear. We don't know who teacher, which teacher, if ever, or whatever. And that is the thing. So what we're concerned about is the contamination of the plants and then bringing now later on the children there. And so parents have to be concerned, and teachers.
All right, Mr. Bartholomew, let's take a quick break and then we're going to come back and continue the discussion. Speaking with President of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Jude Bartholomew. Good morning, Grenada. We'll be right back.
The Hero CPL T20 is back. Catch all the smashing action from St. Kitts and Nevis, August 26 to September 15
on GBN.
Play. Feel good facts. Help prevent cold and flu by washing your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. That's the time it takes to remove most germs. No soap and water? No worries when you've got alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
This is a plastic bag. From February 1st, these bags are not to be used when shopping for food. So here's what you should do. Refuse plastic. Instead, bring your own reusable shopping bags and say goodbye to plastic. Choose to refuse plastic. Walk with your reusable shopping bags and help protect pure Grenada from plastic pollution. A message from the Ministry of Climate Resilience.
We're the
As GBN brings you coverage of this year's Hero CPL, there will be some adjustments to our programming lineup. On match days, transitions will be aired from 5:25 p.m. and GBN TV News will be aired from 6 p.m. and repeated following the CPL game. GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere with sports coverage.
You're not here to give it all than what you're here for. So get up.
Looking for that injection of vibes and energy, of course. Well, I've got just that. Hi, my name is Gary, Mr. Smooth, and I'm inviting you to join me on the Hot Morning Show on Hot 98.5, 98.7 FM. Weekdays, Monday to Friday, 6 to 10 in the morning. I've got a healthy dose of your favorite and most infectious hits sampled with information, news, laughter, and all the other ingredients that go into making the hottest morning show on the radio. The Morning Heat. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit us up on WhatsApp, 435-7517. We've got topics, we've got discussions, calls, voice notes, and so much more. But I can't tell you everything. You gotta tune in. The Hot Morning Show on Hot FM 98.5, 98.7 with yours truly, Gary, Mr. Smooth. Kaboom!
Welcome back to Good Morning Grenada. Speaking with President of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Jude Bartholomew, as the start of the new school year nears. Mr. Bartholomew, have you or any member of the executive reached out to the Ministry of Education to share your thoughts and maybe reach a compromise with the reopening of schools?
So before we go to that, I've been getting messages here from certain schools, I would not call name or such, that they have exposure and they have cases. All right, so it seems that there are probably teachers or other persons who have been exposed and probably have the virus. And so you've been getting that for a few weeks now. And so that's the concern. I would not call school names or principal's name or anybody else, but it is a major concern because once you have one, that can be compared to a situation where you have a piece of land and you have some crops and persons stealing your crops and such, so you poison one. And you poison, because you poison one, you don't know what to touch or where to touch. And that is the situation. So if you have cases and then they are saying not perhaps as such, but they have exposure and they have cases, it means that everybody. So I want now us to slow down and to take this thing serious. And that's the reason why I came on the program this morning, not to bash the Ministry of Education, not to bash anybody else, but for us to reason and to take this thing seriously for the nation, for the parents, for persons who have their children going to school, teachers have their family too, and all those things. And this is a serious situation, not only for teachers and for school, but for all workers who are exposed, and the whole nation is concerned. So with exposure and such, that's what you have to contain. You must contain this thing. As if you don't stop this thing, it means that education system might slow down for a long time. And let's imagine, before I go into that, if really and truly nobody could go to school, where does the teachers have to stay to work? Not at home. If there is a lockdown in Grenada today or tomorrow, the very teachers, I don't know why sometimes people are not using the head or using some level of common sense. Because if you want to say that the teachers must go and they are compelled to go to school because you have internet services in your school, in the building, and you have everything there, so that is where they must go to work. If you have a lockdown today or tomorrow, and this thing becomes serious, where the teachers have to stay to work, not at their very home. At their very home. So that's where you have to let common sense prevail and such. And the role of the employer, the Ministry of Education, is to protect its members, to protect its workers. And that's where productivity would rise, because persons will be more comfortable and everything like that. So to go to the Ministry of Education, and now, yes, we had dialogue, we had a meeting, as we said, last Friday before teachers, the last week of teachers going back to school. And so they argued their position and such. They said we were going to hear from them. They had a meeting or something so with the Ministry of Health, and we were going to hear from them. We did not hear anything. So basically what we're hearing is from schools and such, although the only what we heard is that teachers have to go back in the physical building for this week, and then the children will remain at home for 2 weeks in the first instance, and then afterwards they would come in face to face. That's what we heard. But we did say, and we put it on record, that we did try to reason out with them that why is it that the teachers have to go in school now? Why is it? And as I said, the response was that you have the public sector and such, and there is no lockdown, so everybody has to go to work. But as I said, and we reason out again from the Grenada Union of Teachers perspective, and common sense, that the teachers and teaching is something a little different. If you look at even some of the rules, the regulations, the laws and different things towards teachers and towards teaching and towards education is a little bit different, although we are working in the public domain. But as we said, without children, there is no school, and without teachers, there is no school. So how can you say one going to be at home and then the other go to work? When you're reaching the children who you really want to reach by internet, and internet has no limitation. You don't have to go in the school for it. And more, when you look at scientific trend, even in the States and such, more persons are clamoring to work at home. This is the same reason why GBN Beyond the Headline program, it doesn't mean that it is less effective because persons are doing it via Zoom. I didn't have to come into the studio with you face to face to have an effective program with you or anybody else. And that's how sometimes the trends of things are taking place. So we want the Ministry of Education to sit and to think. Because if you look at it, other places, you hear about buildings, you hear about banks, you hear about other institutions and other places where they have exposure and face exposure to COVID-19. They are closing down and such, and fixing up, sanitizing and doing all those things. And in those places, basically, they don't have all the large volume of workers as the education system. You have more than 1,800 teachers. You have thousands of children in the primary, secondary, private school, and that's what you have. That's what you're looking at there. The volume of persons to spread this thing and the contamination. Can you imagine the whole nation, children, teachers, everybody going out and then COVID in every home? How can you control that with the limited health that we have in that situation? So for good sense to prevail and for the ministry to meet the objectives, the Ministry of Education will meet. There is no evidence, and the teachers never go against the ministry's objective in terms of what they want to achieve, in terms of teaching the nation's children and working with them. And we want to, at the same time, thank the Ministry of Education because they don't do everything wrong. They provide the gadgets, they do this sanitizing and all those things. They have been working and trying. So we want to put that on record, not just to bash on everything like that. Our thing now and our stance is with the COVID-19 situation and let common sense prevail. Look at the COVID-19 protocols. You said no more than 20 persons should be in a particular place at a particular time. It is there for every other thing, for funerals, for this, for that, and the other. And that is one of the arguments that we're saying. There's large schools that have about 50-something teachers and members of staff. So when you bring them in school and all the case, maybe you have development sessions, you have your assembly, you have this and that and the other. Are we not breaking the COVID-19 protocol there and having exposure? And these are the things. So sometimes you see the hypocrisy in the system, where there is one thing they tell you cannot do this here and you cannot do that here, but they're enforcing it on the teachers and somebody else, and it is not right. If you have the protocols and you have the protocols, then the protocols must run through for everybody else. So the Grenada Union of Teachers, the teachers, principals, we want to work together. We're going to work together to ensure in this difficult situation, in these difficult times, that education and our responsibility towards the nation's children and towards the parents in terms of their children's education and the ministry's objective is met. And that's what we say. But what we also say is that you cannot put people in a situation where their life is at risk. Because health is wealth. And that's the most important thing, not only for teachers, for every public officer, a private worker. People concerned about the health and safety during COVID-19. And you cannot make a mistake here. So the Ministry of Education should reason and come out and say, let the teachers do the thing at home. You have all your stuff, you put it together, you get all your stuff, and you're ready to go. And you teach the children online. When the time is right, now if COVID-19 is under control and everything like that, so, and the teachers come and say they don't want to go back to work, I will be the first, and the Grenada Union of Teachers will be the first to say, no, that cannot happen. We have to go back face to face. But when the time is right, what we say now, the teacher is going to do what they have to do. The principal is going to do what they have to do. We will ensure that the objective have been met with the nation's children and the commitment to parents. But let's do it at home for the time being. And the teachers will work. On weekend, they work at home. Nobody says that teachers will only work 5 days in school. Because if you're treating the teachers so badly and you want to look mean to the teachers, remember a teacher's job is 24/7. So if you want them to go to work and go in the physical building for 5 days a week, teachers have been sending out work and doing the secondary school, the primary school, teaching their children even on weekends, some teachers in the night late and such, and doing things online. They do it at home. So if the ministry want to be and the government want to be so harsh with the teachers and say, during COVID, go in school for the 5 days, the teachers could come back and say, well, okay, if you're treating me so, then for the weekend, when I used to give the children work and send work for them and work to correct and different things like that, so, well, I have to go to school to do it, so I would only do it in the 5 days, Monday to Friday. So that's why you must have a balance and use your head. The teacher works all the time. Principal work all the time, 24/7, 7 days a week. And they're doing it for the children. With teaching, there is no 5 days. There is no weekend. It's all we know that teachers are doing what they have to do, and principal all the time, day and night, getting up in the night, whatever hour, to plan, to do whatever they have to do to get it right and to make it right, to see how they can assist the nation's children. So it's not just a physical building thing. It's everywhere. Teachers do more work and preparatory work on weekends and such in the home, and those things, use internet services in the home and such, more than even in the school for the nation's children, and doing a wonderful job. So that's what we want the ministry to do, the government of Grenada. Use your head, think wisely, and just let the teachers stay at home for the rest of the week. We want the teachers to remain at home for the rest of the week and do not put them in danger, and do not put principals in danger, and do not put the nation's children in danger, and do not put the rest of the public officers in danger. So let us stay at home, let the teachers stay at home, let them plan, let them do what they have to do. If you want the submission of plans and you want the submission of work from teachers, all well and good, all right? But for safety reasons, let the teachers remain at home and let the teachers already do what they have to do from next week to be able to teach the nation's children via Zoom, via the various platforms and such, until COVID-19 is under control and all those things, and then we're ready to go and we look forward to go back face to face. And one more important point, think about the underlying conditions. You have teachers who are sick. I tell you, teachers are struggling. Just as other public officers, teachers are struggling. There are a lot of teachers who reach 50-something years and they reach whatever, and they're holding on strong in the system, but they're sick. And there are a lot of them because they have no pension and they have nothing right now. So they can't really go home because they're struggling. Some persons, they have cancer. Some persons, diabetes. Some persons, stroke. So all sorts of different complaints and such. And these are underlying factors. And so by bringing them there, bringing them in school face to face, you're looking for trouble. Because if you just contract that virus, it means that it means that persons may not survive. And one may say, take the vaccine, and yet, and again, we're not telling persons not to take the vaccine. We encourage persons to do so. Use your discretion, educate yourself, and make the choice suiting to you. But at the same time, even the same teachers who have, and other persons who have underlying conditions and such, they may not even, probably some of them, be able to take the vaccine. So you have to take all those things into consideration. Teachers are human beings just as everybody else.
It's time for us to end, Mr. Bartholomew, but very quickly, have all teachers received or seen the 4% salary increase reflected in their salaries as of this month?
Yes, and I want to use the opportunity to thank the government of Grenada because they did live up to their promise. They did live up to their promise in terms of paying on time, and we appreciate that. So the teachers did receive their monies. Where we have a problem, though, is not only for the teachers. We are hearing that there's other public officers who did not get their 4%. In fact, there are nurses and such who did complain behind the scene. They're saying that they did say that because they are on some form of contract. And what sort of contract? Because if nurses really on contract means that after your contractual period would have ended, you should be able to get a sum of money from government before your new contract period would have started again. And so these persons never really, let's say, after 2 years. So that is just contract in joke in name. And basically, what we know, once you're in the public sector and such, and salary is being given increases, all the persons should get the increases. I mean, you think about nurses. So I'm moving away from teachers a little bit. You think about the nurses and the doctors and such who would have worked hard in the same COVID that we're facing now, and because of the situation now, they have to come forward again, even under more pressure, to assist the public. And you tell me some of these persons not getting the 4% increase and such and diddle-daddling because they know, and that is wrong. Because these are the persons that are making the sacrifices. So we're calling on the government of Grenada to honor this thing, not only for teachers, yes, but for every public officer, to make sure that these persons are given their 4% increase, and to make sure also that the retroactive payments are made on time. So we appreciate that, and we look forward to working with everybody, and we encourage the teachers to be safe.
Thank you, and you stay safe as well, Mr. Bartholomew. Thank you so very much for stopping by Good Morning Grenada this morning. Have a good one.
Thank you.
President of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Jude Bartholomew, our guest this morning. It's time for us to now join the BBC for its 8 a.m. newscast, which is currently in progress. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your thankful Thursday.